同学们好.
Sure, how?
Thank you, and good to see everybody. It is our 8th class. Next week is our last one. It is the 24th of May today. Last class is the 31st of May. So let us begin with our warm-ups, then we'll review and preview and decide what we're going to do. So last week we talked about energy, and the week before that we talked about relax. So as we do the warm-ups, and I'll just go through the warm-ups, I'll speed up and slow down slightly at the seams, but think about softness. So and think about the springiness, which is the Tai Chi energy that we're looking for. So when you're doing these exercises, try and be soft, try and feel the springiness, try and feel that everything is open and extended and loose. Good. So I will be mirroring you, and we start with each shoulder width apart, and this is the 25 warm-ups, -1, 2 sets of 8, looking to left and right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 2, 2, 3, 4, forward, back, 7, 8, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 2, 3, 4, side to side, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 2, 3, 4, flapping palms, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 2, 2, 3, 4, flapping in, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 2, 3, 4, flapping out, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 2, 2, 3, 4, shoulders twist, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 2, 3, 4, twisting back, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 2, 3, forearms push apart, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 2, 3, 4, flapping palms, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 2, 3, 4, flap at the side, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, push up, stoop down, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 2, 3, 4, flap left and right, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, flap in front, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 2, 3, 4, on stretch, rotate, step, step, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 2, 3, 4, to the right, step, step, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 2, 3, 4, clench fist, jump, step to the center, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, heel step out, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 2, 2, 3, 4, push up and down, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, back step, swing out, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 2, 3, 4, back step, pull down, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 2, 3, 4. Back step, hands clap. 7, 8. 1, 2, 5, 6, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4. Tiptoe back swing. 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, and 8 more. 7, 8. Marching step. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, and 8 more. 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and stop. Good. There we are. So to review and preview, last week we started in our standing practice looking at the one leg stance. We'll do that again in standing practice today. We kept practicing our footwork and body movements and our waist movements, and we'll do more of that today. I'm actually going to not do all of those today because I want to make sure we have enough time for the arm movements. I want to extend the 2 arm movements that we learned last week, the 2 kinds of arm movements. Last week in our theory interlude, we talked about energy. This week, it's history, and I want to talk about Yang Chengfu, who is the popularizer of Yang Family Tai Chi Chuan. So we'll get to that as we go on. So let us start with our standing practice. So let's just begin in an empty stance, and then we'll go into the one-legged stance. We're not actually working on the one-leg stance as such in this set of classes because that's something we get to in the second section. But just for reference, the one-leg stance, the standing foot is to the corner, the up leg is in the straight direction. The requirement on the up leg is that the thigh is at least horizontal. If you can bring it up a little bit more, that's good. And we have the same kind of requirements in terms of weight over the bubbling well on the left foot. The right, on the down foot, the up leg, the leg is actually turned in slightly so that you can feel crotch rounded, and your toe is down, so the toe is not flexed, toe is down, and the sole of your feet is facing your knee. So, but we're just going to go to here. If you in your own practice want to actually get into standing practice, for still practice, that would be great. Let us begin in an empty stance. Doesn't matter which side, we'll be doing both. So one foot to the corner, the other foot is straight. We'll do ball touch. So 70% on the back leg, fold forward in the direction of your front foot, so you get 30% on the ball of the front foot. Arms rounded, chest to corner, nose in the same direction as the front foot. And so let us just do our posture checks. There are 4 of them, you might recall. So the first is the head is up, and feel the crown of your head leading up. And at the same time, feel your head is suspending the rest of your body. So from the neck on down, everything is sinking down. Number 2, shoulders are sinking. Elbows are dropping, so shoulder blades down, the back of your ribs. Feel a little weight on a soft string hanging from your elbows. Palms are open but not too extended. They will look good from here. Number 3, absorb the chest and slightly round the back. So feel your elbows are leading away from your spine, opening your back left and right. That'll absorb your chest slightly. And now drop your hips down to do number 4, which is relax the waist. And feel your soles of your standing, the main foot, the back foot, ball and heel equal weight, so weight over the bubbling well. Let's change to the other side. So bring your chest square, put the other foot to the corner and change. Chest to the corner, nose to straight, head up, shoulders down, elbows down, back slightly rounded, waist relaxed. And all these posture adjustments are there to help us breathe naturally. So see, when you breathe in, does your belly expand? When you breathe out, does it come back again? It's the kind of breathing we have when we're sleeping or when we're just lying on our back and not doing anything. Harder to do when you're standing up. We'll just do a minute, so change to the other side. And now we'll go into the posture for one leg stance. So last week we started here. So we're in an empty stance, back leg is bent, chest to the corner, head looking forward. Now straighten the back leg. Don't lock it. Make sure the back leg is not locked. Use the front foot for balance. If you're comfortable with that, bring it back and just touch with the tip of the toe. So let's do our check. So from here, same as always, head up, shoulders sinking, elbows dropping. Absorb the chest, round the back, and relax the waist. So drop the hips straight down. You want to make sure that you have your weight even front and back on the ball and the heel of the standing foot. Here you won't fold at the hip crease, you will actually just shift your whole body like a pole to make sure that you have your weight over the bubbling well of the standing foot. And again, check your breathing. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. The gaze is open, looking straight ahead, taking in everything in front of you. Let's change. So sink. Feel as if you're sitting down onto a bar stool. Change your footwork to the other side. Come around. Let's start in the ball touch empty stance. So your back leg is bent. Now straighten the back leg. Test your balance with your foot out. If that's good, bring it in. And let's stand for a minute. You can gradually just keep that lower foot off the ground completely. If you have any doubts about your balance, keep your toe close to the ground if you need to find your balance again. If this actually is too much of a stress, just put your foot forward again, because we're not actually practicing balance, we're practicing posture. Head up, shoulders down, elbows down, absorbing the chest, relax the waist, and see whether your breathing is easy. This is probably going to be the hardest one because your balance is being challenged, so your core will tense up. So you won't be able to breathe easily. So let's finish. Just put the front foot down. Bring the back foot parallel to the front. Release the hands. And stop. Let's do just a little cool down since we've stressed our back. So just slowly rotate your hips in one direction to begin with. And when we've done a few of those, come back and go the other way. Good. And stop. So that's our standing practice for today. Are there any questions? Okay. So to prepare for the rest of the practice, let us just do our opening form, the opening movement in the, which is also the closing movement in the traditional form. Stand feet shoulder width apart, arms by the side of your legs, fingertips down the side. And actually in this posture, your legs are unlocked, so make sure that they're straight but not locked. let's just do, we can do standing practice in this stance. We call this Wuji stance, which is empty stance because we're not moving. So here, head up, shoulders down, back slightly rounded, feel the elbows extending away from the spine. Relax the waist, so check that your hips are going straight down, your tummy isn't sticking out, your butt isn't sticking out, and your weight is over the bubbling well. Good. This posture we also call prepare. So now let us begin. Arms rotate and lift up to shoulder height, and come back down, pressing down. And they stop when the palms are in front of the hips, palms parallel. Pause for a moment and go back to Wuji stance. So the core piece of theory is that Wuji is the mother of Taiji. So nothing leads to everything. And Taiji is the mother of yin and yang. So when things move, they separate. So when we move and go up and down, we have an yin and yang. So up and down. We have another yin and yang, breathing in, breathing out. So now when we do it, think about the stillness going into movement, and then the yin and yang, breathing in and breathing out, up and down. Begin. Rotate and lift, keeping the palms parallel. When you get to the top, start rotating in the shoulders, then the elbows, then the wrists, pressing down as you breathe out. Pause for a moment and back. We'll do it again. Now think about softness. Try and get rid of any stiffness in your body as we do this. Begin. Rotate and lift as you breathe in. Get to the top, come back, breathe out. Pause for a moment and finish. Another principle that we have everywhere in the form, and we've talked about it when we talked about the waist, and we'll do it again, is having the energy move continuously without stopping. And so now when you do this, I want you to try and make sure that you're doing this continuously from when you start going up to when you stop. Don't stop at the top and restart. It's all one continuous movement, lifting up and pushing down. Begin. Rotate and lift, breathing in, chest out, come back, breathing out, waist goes back, and stop, and back to original position. I love this movement. There's so much in it, even though it's just the beginning of the form. Okay. So let us do some footwork practice. Let's begin with bow stance. And I will assume that we're going in the same direction. So when you're facing the screen, I'll face away. And so let's start in a bow stance. So I'm in a left bow stance. Check your weight, 60% on the front, 40% on the back, torso leaning forward, arms out, rounded. And let's change direction. We'll go change through 90 degrees, shift weight back slightly, turn the left so 45 degrees, bring the right foot in, step it out again, using the back leg, flatten the foot, and then bend the knee. Change through 90 degrees again, shift back weight, pivot on the right heel in 45 degrees, shift weight to the right, pick up the left foot, step it out, heel, ball, toe, bend knee. Let's do that again. I'll go to the other side. And this time, think about practicing continuously and without interruption. So going to the left, shift weight back, pivot on the right heel, 45 degrees. Don't stop, just keep moving as you change direction. Now we'll go 90 degrees to the right, shift back weight, pivot on the left heel, shift your weight from right to left. Bring the right foot in, step it out, push with the back foot to flatten the foot, then bend the knee. Now we'll do going in a straight line from a bow stance. Perform a left bow stance. We're going to go from left to right, and then we'll maybe, if you have room, do another one. Start away from the screen. So we're going to go in a straight line forward. Shift weight back, open the left toe now, 45 degrees. Shift the weight through, bring through the right foot, step out, shoulder width apart, heel ball toe, bend knee. And again, shift weight back slightly, open the right toe, chest goes to the right, shift your weight in the direction of the right foot, put down bow stance width, and come forward. And one more, shift weight back, open the left toe, check that your crotch is rounded, shift weight in the direction of the left foot, step out into a bow stance, heel ball toe, bend knee. Check your bow stance, so feel you've got 60% on the front. Check that you've got weight over the bubbling well for both feet. Check that you've got push and support, so push forward and back and make sure that you're rooted in both feet. Good. Now let's do the turning around. So we can do a bow stance and go back the way we came. So I'll face the screen. You can, if you want to mirror me, you would be in a right bow stance with your right leg forward. So we're here. So shift weight back, pivot the foot 135 degrees. You're shifting your weight all the way onto the one side. Now shift your weight all the way back, pick up the foot, step it out into a bow stance, shift your weight forward. We can come back the other way. Shift weight all the way onto the back. Pivot on the front heel, 135 degrees. Shift your weight onto the foot that's just pivoted. Pick up the other foot, step it out, shoulder width. Push with the back foot, heel ball toe, bend knee. Now let's do some empty stance. The first thing I just want to remind you of with empty stance, there are two. The ball touch, so that's the one we just did in standing practice. As always, one foot to corner, one foot to straight. The difference is with bow stance, we were shoulder width apart. Here the feet are on either side of the line through the heel. Ball touch or heel touch. And to change from ball to heel, pick your foot up and put it down again. Don't just roll forward and back. So let's head towards the screen. So let's start with a heel touch, empty stance heel touch. We're going to turn through 90 degrees. We can just pivot that on the left heel and step touch with the right heel. Go the other direction, pivot on the right heel, shift weight and put down the left heel. Now, let's do it with a ball touch. Now, for ball touch, because we always walk heel, ball, toe, we've got to change the front foot from a ball touch to a heel. So pick up your left foot, put it right back down where it was, heel touch, shift your weight onto the left foot, bring the right foot in, step out, ball touch. Now we're going to change 90 degrees again. So pick up the right foot, put down the right heel, shift the weight onto the right foot, bring it through and ball touch. And again, shift weight back, pick it up, put down the heel and step out into a ball. Now, one of the things that we can do is we can do multiple steps with the bow stance and the empty stance. Let's do it on the empty stance first. So we're going to start, let's just start in a ball touch empty stance. We're going to take several steps. Whenever we take a transitional step, we step on either side of the line. So for example, when I'm in an empty stance here, actually I'll be on either side of the yellow line, I will just stay on either side of the yellow line. And the reason I do that is so that my body doesn't rock backwards and forwards. We'll start in with a ball touch and end with a ball touch, but in between, we're always going to do heel touch because heel, ball, toe is the sequence we move in. So left leg forward, ball touch. So pick up the left foot, put it down, heel touch. Shift your weight forward. Keep shifting. Your body will turn all the way to the left. Now step out with the right foot, center line to sides, right foot to the corner. Shift your weight forward. Your chest is coming to the right. Heel touch with the left foot on the other side of the line, pointing to the corner. Shift your weight forward, on to the left, and finish with a ball touch. We can do the same thing with multiple steps with bow stance. With bow stance, we actually use this empty stance center line to sides as our transitional step. We'll do it from both sides. So let us start in a left bow stance. So we're going to do left bow stance, transition step, left bow stance. So I'm in a left bow stance, left foot forward, shift my weight back, pivot the left toe open. Transition step, right heel other side of the line. Shift forward onto the right foot. Now step out with the left foot into a bow, heel, ball, toe, bend knee. So that's on the one side, and we can do it on the other side as well. So let's start in a right bow stance. So it can be right, transition step, right. Shift back weight slightly, open the right toe. Shift forward, transition step, heel on the other side of the line. Shift your weight forward, move your weight in the direction of the front foot. Step out into a bow, heel, ball, toe, bend knee. And stop. There are more that we can do. We can do various sequences and orders. We can mix and match. We're not going to do that today because I want to get to those arm exercises. But before we do that, are there any questions? Good, no questions. So let us do our waist exercises. I'll be using my chair, and you're welcome to do that too if you want. And we're not going to do all the exercises, but I want to remind you of some of the key ones. So the idea of sitting in the chair is so that we can focus on rotating the waist, i.e. the lower back. If you want to do it standing up, I recommend that you bend your knees to try and immobilize your hips. Okay, so first we're just going to go side to side, so that it's going and stopping. And as you recall, we have two kinds of waist movements, what we call horizontal and what we call verticals. Let's start here. Let's do horizontal. So 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. Now we're going to do the vertical movements. Remember, we did them side to side and forward back, but let's do them on the diagonal. So turn your body to one of the corners, and now we're going to move towards the diagonal. So 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. Turn your body to the other diagonal. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. Back to the first diagonal. Now we'll do the chest in and out, which is the other major vertical direction. So chest out and back. 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, and turn the chest to the second diagonal. In and out. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. Now, with those three ingredients, we can turn this side to side into a continuous movement. So this will be our figure 8 in a plane. So turn to the diagonal, go back, go around the corner at the side, from the front to the back, and then around the corner at the other side. 2, front to back, 2, 3, and 3, 4, 4. Now we can go in the other direction. So now we're going to go from back to front, around, 1, round on the other side, 1, back to front, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. Okay. So what we've done now is we've taken this horizontal waist movement and put a circle in it. Now we're going to do the same for the vertical ones. We're going to put a circle in it. So for example, when we were doing chest in and out, now we're going to move our midriff in a circle. So try that. So back and up around the back, down on the front. 2. And I'm just using my hands to try and indicate what I'm trying to do with my midriff. And 4. And let's go the other direction. So out and up on the front, down on the back. 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. So that's the forward back one. Now let's add a circle to the one that goes side to side. So 1, and around, 2. So your midriff is actually, or your bottom of your ribs are actually describing a circle. 3, 4. And we can go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4. So with this now, we can take our figure eight in the plane and make a little wings up on the side. So we're going to come down across the middle and up as we go around the corner. So down and across, front to back, up as we go around, down. 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. And we can go the other way. So from back to front, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. The next thing is when we started talking about arm movements, you'll recall I said that we're basically 3 arm movements. In the same way that we would with the waist, we had vertical, horizontal, and mixed. With the arm movements, we've got swing, rotate, and swing and rotate, mixed. So let's just do it in this way. So we're going to do, so this is a swing. So this is swing. And you can see my waist is driving my arms. And this is rotate. So there's a rotate here. And of course, with a rotate, I can rotate, I can flip my palms and then rotate in the other direction. So let's do this figure 8 movement using our arms and first thinking about swing. So here, and now you'll see that your palms are describing a figure 8. 2, let's just do 3, and come back the other way. 1, 2, 3. Now what I want you to see if you can add is add the rotate. So we're going to do the arm movements this way. The palms are always going to face each other. When they get to the outside, the palm on the outside is going to like describe the outside of a ball, and then it's going to come back this way, palms facing each other, and round the ball over here. So now let's do the figure 8. 1, with the swing and the rotate. 2, 2, 3, and try and keep your shoulders level if you can. Keep your head level. Don't swing your head too much side to side. And the other way. Cross the middle. Front to back. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. And just to make the connection, or to underline the connection, those of you who know the form, to connect them to movements that you know, this is rollback. So this is actually the feeling that you have when you do rollback. When we go the other way, you can think of it as the feeling that we have when we do single whip, or in fact, cloud hands. So we do use these things when we get to the form. Nice, Greg, you've got it. Yep, very good. Okay, so that's our waist practice. I'm going to put my chair away. And again, because we've been doing a little bit of waist work, let's just release our waist. Just circle around for a few moments, and then there'll be a chance to rest. I will talk a little bit about Yang Chengfu. There we are. Before we talk about Yang Chengfu, any questions? Okay, Yang Chengfu is up next. So you will recall this slide, which is the lineage that we saw when we were talking about Yang Luchan a little while back. So this is the long view. And the beginnings of especially Tai Chi Chuan theory, so when we talk about yin and yang and we talk about 5-element theory and all those things, that comes from Taoism and Neo-Confucianism, which goes back a long way to the 4th century before the Common Era, in fact. Then we have a couple of mythical or semi-mythical figures, Jiang Zhangfeng and Wang Zhongyu, in the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th centuries. Nobody's quite clear, but they're often said to be the founders of Tai Chi Chuan. The first historical figure that we know of is the Chen family, so Chen Wangting. So the Chen family actually has been doing Tai Chi since the 17th century. They're on the, I think, 20th generation now that they've been doing it continuously. The founder of Yang Family Tai Chi Chuan is Yang Luchan. He actually studied, according to the stories, he studied with the Chen family. And we talked about him a couple of weeks ago. Today so he was the founder of Yang Family Tai Chi Chuan. Today I want to talk about Yang Chengfu. And Yang Chengfu is the grandson of Yang Luchan, and he popularized Yang style. And in a way, you could say that Yang style Tai Chi Chuan is what it is today because of Yang Chengfu. He lived from 1883 to 1936. He was only 53 when he died, but he got a lot done. As I said, he was a grandson of Yang Luchan, and he established what we call the large frame. So Yang Luchan, we don't really know what his form looks like, but it's called the original frame. His descendants, there was actually a split in the lineage. So one of his sons, Yang Banho, and his grandson, Yang Shaohou, developed the small frame. And that led into Wu style, actually. So Wu is actually a much more contained style. Yang Chengfu developed what's called the large frame by taking his father, Yang Jianhou's middle frame, and building on it. And so the frame that we call the Yang family, the most common one, the most widespread Yang style, is open and extended. The movements are simple and direct. The movements are very precise. The structure is very precise. And when we talk about like foot straight, foot to the corner, we're very precise about that.
But what's notable compared to things like Chin style and Wu style is the movements are very gentle and flowing. It's at an even pace. There isn't fast and slow. There aren't jumps. There aren't stomps. And that goes to Yang Chengfu. The this actually, it's interesting. It happened, and one of the reasons why Yang style took off is that in 1928, Chengfu moved south from Beijing, and I wanted to share the map with you because um, China is a big place. And so he moved down from Beijing to the southern part, so north of the Yalu River to around the Yangtze River and south. So Shanghai, Nanjing, Hangzhou, all the way down to Guangzhou. And one of the key things that Yang Chengfu did was he taught the public, he taught many people, and he changed the emphasis to health, and he changed to this even form. He also dictated a number of influential books, including the 10 essential principles, which we talk about a lot. And many of the principles that I've been talking about for the last 2 months are some of these essential principles, and we'll talk about them next week. So this is just a couple of factoids about the man who really led to Young Family Tai Chi Chuan being what it is today. To put it all in context, there's Yang Chengfu. The things in gray at the top, Chinese history is filled with violence and revolution, much more so perhaps than the US. So Yang Luchan had a number of sons, and then Yang Chengfu is his grandson. And then to take it to the present day, one of Yang Chengfu's grandsons is our teacher, Yang Jin. So Yang Jin is in fact sixth generation. And just to put it in context of American history, Yang Luchan is about a contemporary of Abraham Lincoln. Yang Chengfu is a contemporary of Franklin Roosevelt, almost exactly. Maybe he didn't live quite as long. And Yang Jin is pretty much the same age as the vice president. So these are the history. This is how we, as a form and a lineage, came about. Let us do some arm movements. We're going to start. We did two kinds of arm movements. We'll start with one and we'll go on to the other. So I want you to perform a bow stance. Doesn't matter which side. We'll change. So perform a bow stance. Front arm out towards the diagonal. And we're going to rotate in two directions. And we're going to start by going down and in. Just rotate the wrist. Then keeping the wrist rotation going, add the elbow. So it's now elbow and wrist, and you're trying to, at this point, in the plane of your upper arm. Now circle down, add the shoulder, but when you come back, fingertips don't go over the eyes. So it's not a big up circle like that. It's just roughly eye height coming back. Now add the waist. So as you come forward, the waist turns to the open side. Now you're turning inside. So this is a horizontal movement. And now add forwards and back with the waist. So as you come forward, shift forward. As you come back, shift back. So you can now begin to see how the waist and the arms swing and rotate, all work together. And stop. Let's change feet and do this on the other side. Arm to the diagonal, start circling down and in. First the wrists, then add the elbows, or one elbow. Now add the shoulder. Now add the horizontal waist turn, side to side. And now move your waist back as the arm comes back, forward as the arm comes forward. And what you'll recognize is that actually when you change direction at the front and the back, you're actually doing this figure eight movement. Let's change again. We're in a bow stance. We did the wrist down and in. Now we're going to go the other direction. So up and in, up and in. Add the elbow. rotating the elbow as the forearm in the plane of the upper arm. Add the shoulder. Make a nice big circle. Keep the fingertips below the eyes. Yep, that looks good. Now add the horizontal waist movement, turning side to side, following the arm movement. And now add the forward back. So you're using your waist to go forward as the arm comes forward, back as the arm goes back. And change. Arm out, diagonal, up and in with the wrist. Keeping the wrist going, add the elbow. Now add the shoulder. Add the waist. So going from side to side with the waist. And now the waist also forward and back as the arm comes forward. A vertical movement of the waist. As it goes back, waist movement to the back. And stop. The reason why this is a great exercise is one of the things that's quite difficult, and we use this everywhere in the form, is when we move our arms and we do rotations, everything has to rotate at the same, at a commensurate speed. We don't just flip the wrists and we don't move the arms without rotating the wrists. Everything has to move together. And this is a nice exercise for practicing having everything going at the same time. Now this one was just one arm. So now we're going to do the other one, open, close. And there we actually get to do two arms at the same time, but which is easy for people like Marion who could play the piano, but not for me. I can't do two hands at once. So let us start. So I will assume I'm mirroring you. So we're standing. So palm up. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to rotate at the side. So we're going to go from palm up when it's above the horizontal to palm back as the arm is below. So there's this movement. Now we're going to just keep dropping it, and then we're going to cup the palm. Then we're going to go back, up, drop, rotate, and hold. Going back and up, drop, rotate, and back. One of the things, and the ones I can see are looking good, but I just want to emphasize there's a temptation, and this is something to watch out for when we come up, to just have the palm forward all the way up. So for some reason we just go, oh, I'm going to end up palm up, so I'll just have my palm up. No, you want to have the palm backwards here, and then it rotates to the side. And if you think about it, that's actually a natural movement. If you just isolate it to this, if you just start with holding and drop your arm, you naturally, or at least I do, find that my palm is backwards here. So that's where we begin. Up, and now we finish closed here. Up, rotate, and hold. Up, and hold. This allows me to just remind you that we have three palm shapes in Yang Family Tai Chi Chuan. The open palm, the fist, and the hook. Now, we're not talking about fist and hook in this class. We're just talking about the palm. And so the requirements for the hand, fingertip width is the same width as the width of the palm. So there's a bit of space between your fingers. They're not like splayed open, but they're not closed either. Everybody's looking good. And this we call the tiger's mouth, is just naturally open. There are two shapes. One is, we call this palm sitting. It's very, very seldom that we have the palm and the forearm in the same line. So it's either sitting like this, or it's cupped or holding like this. And so we call this push, and we call this the ward-off shape, because when my arm's out here, this is ward-off position. So you can see when we do this exercise, we're going to go from palm sitting at the top, rotate, and then it's in this ward-off shape at the bottom. Let's do it on the other side. So rotate and drop. Coming back, remember, palm back first, rotate at the side, up, and rotate and drop. Now let's go all the way over. So rotate, up, and to here. And nice catch, Marion. Rotate and ground. Up and press down. Now we're going to do both arms at the same time. And what I want you to notice before we start moving the arms is that my forearms are roughly parallel and my elbow is roughly over my fingertips and my fingertips are roughly over my elbow. But if I look at it from the front, but from the side, the upper arm is forward and the lower arm is further back. So they're not like this, they're slightly like this. Good. And that would be obvious if we were in person, but it might not be obvious in Zoom. Good. So let's combine these two. So here, and I'm going to stop and just check. So here, the upper one is forward, lower one is back, and close. Then open, then before we rotate, upper one is forward, lower one palm back, rotate, they switch positions and close. Open, rotate, change, just pause and check. So yep, that's good. Now close, close, yeah, open, close. The feeling that you want to have in your chest when we finish with this close is the same feeling that we have when we are doing standing practice. So you want to feel shoulders dropping and you want to feel your chest slightly absorbed and your back rounded. Yep. So Greg, drop your lower hand a bit more so that your forearms are parallel a bit more. Yeah, that's right. And open. Close. Let's slow this down a bit. So open to here. Change the arms. Yep. And close. Open. The upper one palm forward, lower one palm back. Rotate both arms and close. That's right. Good catch, Greg. Open. Change. Close. Open. Rotate. Close. Now we're going to start adding stepping. We're not going to quite get to the end of it today, but I want to start at least. So this is not a standard. Charlie Chaplin wasn't a thing in Young Style, but this is I think of this as a Charlie Chaplin stance. It's actually just a transitional stance. So let's start and do it here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to add a waist turn. So as you close, turn your chest so that the upper palm is facing forward. Open, change, close. So the upper palm is facing towards the front, your chest is open that way. Change and close. Open and close. One more, open and close. Now, the reason we are doing this is now we're going to step out. So I'm going to assume that you're going to mirror me. So I am going to step out. Your left hand is on top. Step out with your right foot. Come back. Change. And when your right arm is on top, step out with your left foot. Bring the left foot in as the arms change. As they close with the left arm on top, step out with your right foot.
change, step out with the right foot. And when you step out, what I want you to do is lean slightly forward in the direction of your right foot. So you're not back here. We're actually going to go forward into this position next week and come back. But right now we're just practicing changing from one side to another. So let's do just a couple more of these. Starting with your left arm on top, open, close, and step out with the left leg with your right arm is on top. As you step in, the arms change, close, step out with the right left arm on top. Make sure your left arm is dropping, Greg. Yeah, parallel, the forearms are parallel. Shift back and change. And one more. Open, change, step out, and finish. Okay. Again, let's just loosen up a little bit. Let's do another cool down exercise. Just swing the arms, throw the arms down. Let's breathe in, let's come down. Breathe in as you go up, breathe out as you throw it down. Okay. To review. So today we continue to do standing practice in one-legged stance, posture, not balance. We reviewed the footwork, the body movement. We talked about Yang Chengfu, the popularizer of Yang Fanmi Tai Chi Chuan. We added, when we did the single arm, we actually added the waist turn and the waist movement forward and back. And with this movement that we started learning last week, we've actually added the stepping out and stepping in. And next week, last week, we'll actually go into ward off left and right, which is, and at that point, you will have learned a fair amount of the first few movements of the form. 同学们，再见。
老师再见。